Questions from the floor? What's on your minds? Yes?
I have a question about the application process. Is there anything that you wish you would have spent more time doing as far as the application process? And the flip, is there anything that you spent more time that you wish you would have spent less time?
So about the application process, what worked, what did, what would you do differently?
For me, I had a really...
Can you say your answers, Michelle?
It's answer while you're doing it.
Oh, I do nothing but that at school. For me, my application process was really kind of drawn out. I applied to 17 schools performance-based because so many musical theater programs are really small and really selective. And you just kind of don't know what they're looking for. It's that whole like...
Sometimes 12 students they're admitting.
Yeah.
That's how selective.
So I really had to cover all my bases. And the key for me, and I think the key for anybody, is just like start early and really be on top of things. And I'm not saying like meddle with your kids, but I was really lucky that like my mom, I think, found the perfect balance between like really, like, because I was really stressed out, like auditioning for a bunch of schools, like that really takes a toll on you, but she really struck the perfect balance between like really helping me stay organized and be on top of everything without overstepping that boundary and making it feel like it was her process.
Probably the biggest help in the application process for me was actually going to see the schools that I was going to apply to, because there were a couple of them that on paper I thought they were perfect. I thought I was going to fit in great there, like I loved them, but actually going to see them, I stepped on the campus and said, I can't spend 4 years here. I cannot see myself living here for the next 4 years. So I really think, and that cut off time that I could have wasted writing an essay for a school that I wasn't even going to be interested in. So really kind of finding that group of schools that you really, really want to apply to is going to make that application process a lot easier, because you're going to be more eager to write those essays. You'll have things that you can include from the trip that you saw, which will help you show a little bit more interest in the school, which will always look good to the admissions counselors.
I was just going to say, like, I wish I had started earlier just because I would have been able to explore a lot more options. Like, I'm really happy where I ended up. So I think I count myself lucky, but I think a lot of people start a little late. Like, a lot of my friends didn't necessarily want to be at my university because they didn't get into their first choice, or they didn't explore enough options, so they weren't exactly as happy as they could be somewhere else. So I think starting early and really seeing a variety of schools, small, big, different programs, is really important. Also, like Rachel said, like, it'll give you an edge when you're explaining to the school like why you want to go there, why you chose that, because something would have spoken to you.
But what's early?
What's early? I think I would have started like maybe the end of my sophomore year, just looking, like not necessarily being really serious, but just like flipping through a book, or going online, just like exploring a little bit, not necessarily being serious.
Jenna, and you really changed your focus in your college search too. Kind of like what Rachel was saying about, I mean, you started looking at small liberal arts places and then in pretty remote areas too,
yeah,
right?
Like initially I wanted to go to Middlebury, like my heart was set on it, and I was like, oh my god, like farmland, like that's my life. And then when I got there, my parents were like, maybe you should like see where you're gonna be living. I got there and it was like 2 degrees, which I can't deal with, and there was like snow everywhere, and I was like cows, and I was just like, no, like I can't do this, and it was just awful. And my parents were like, okay, it's good thing we figured this out now before you applied and spent all that time, and then got there and hated it. So I think just like visiting is like super important, especially like because you'll be surprised how much stuff you find out about yourself just by seeing places.
Anybody else on this question here?
Yeah.
You want to go with?
Yeah, I kind of have a different view on kind of picking a school and seeing a school. I think parents and kids put a little too much value in kind of seeing the school or seeing the programs that they offer. What I would suggest, that this is, I think, what I did best, was talking to kids at the school and talking to, you know, trying to get a feel for the kids, talking to people you know, talking to kids from here that went there, just get a feel for the student body, because that's kind of ultimately what decides your experience. So that was the biggest thing I did that I'm happy.
As far as the actual application process for me was, I kind of wish I learned when to kind of just put a fork in it and just send my application, because, you know, there are points when I would be done an application and but I would just spend days just thinking about it, you know. Does the college really see me in this application? Is that what they're going to see? But I realized at the end I didn't really change anything. I just spent all this time worrying for nothing. So I wish I could go back and just tell myself, just send the application, it's fine. So maybe encourage your kids to not, you know,
You were not
worry.
alone. This year I saw more procrastination. People who were finished and I had read their essays, everything was in order, and I'd say, have you sent it? No, not yet. What are you waiting for? Send it. Just,
It's awful. I don't know.
Just get it done. John?
Just a lot like what Nick was saying with what you see in a school. For me, I just remember when I visited places, I didn't choose where I went. I applied early until I got deferred, but I chose where I wanted to go, not based on like programs, but like looking at how the students, if the students are happy, like when I felt happiest, like was at Tufts, like that's what decided for me. Like I figured a lot of the schools, they all have excellent programs, so I chose based on if I felt like I'd enjoy myself there, because I knew like I do fine academically in any other place. So it helps a lot looking back at it and seeing people who've transferred or transferred in to Tufts. The people who enjoy themselves there the most are also the most productive. So choosing based on if you feel good there, definitely, I think it was a lot more helpful for me.
I think one thing that would really help is the junior college seminar. Do they still have that?
Yep.
Okay. Encourage your kids to actually take advantage of that, because I did like my essay like for real for that class. And so once I finished it over the summer, I just like had different people read it so that I could develop it more and allow it to show really me. So I could have all my essays done. Like my essay was done by the end of September. And some people are still working on all those essays, but to be able to take that time in college seminar, which is really helpful, to develop your essays and have that part of your application done, takes a lot of pressure off of you your senior year. So if you can encourage your kids just to not blow it off, because I know it was annoying. We were like, oh, we don't want to do this, but it was actually really helpful.
And essays evolve, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like you need germination time, like to start them, and then you need kind of time to finish them up?
I think going off of what Kiera said, the biggest help for me was using resources available, because I was the oldest sibling and my parents and I had no idea what we were doing with the whole college process. So having them read my essays and going to college counseling, I think I was emailing Miss Mason like every week a new draft of my essay until I got them to the level I was happy with. So definitely take advantage. Parents, like, read your kids' essays, correct the stupid grammatical stuff that's there. You know, make sure you can really see your kid's personality in the essays and have them take advantage of college counseling, because that was a really big help for me writing my essays.
Stephanie, you want to go?
I would just definitely say, like, do it over the summer, like, before school starts. Like, it seems like it's really, really far away. Like, the deadline's in, like, November for early decision and even later. But, like, your first semester and your first interim grades are really important. So if you're focusing on applications and your grades, like, that's really tough to do. Plus, like, extracurriculars and all your homework. So you can get it done over the summer. That, like, says a lot. And also, like, don't rule out schools that are really close by. Like, Haverford, like, I was intent on, like, I was not looking at it. I can get there without my GPS. Like, I was not online. Like, people commute there. Like, I was not looking there. And I fought my mom. I don't even know how long. And she drugged me there in the summer before my senior year, and I loved it. Like, there's so many schools that are close by. Like, you don't have to go really far. Like, you can if you want to. Like, plenty of people do and love it. But don't, like, write them out because they're half an hour away. You're not walking home.
Yeah, I'd say don't write off anything, right? I mean, you're in college. You're not here.